So what do you think is a peak performance, and when does it happen, and like why does it occur?
I think peak performance for somebody is them performing, obviously, whatever their given skill is at its absolute maximum. Hopefully, for an individual, if they've been serious about what they're doing in their training, then it occurs, right throughout the course of the season. So they've been working hard throughout their off season, then their sport starts, and it might take them a little while through the competitions to build up. But as the postseason hits, I feel like that's when you really want to see a peak performance. Like so for us, hopefully, maybe not next week, but the week following, we have our team starts to peak. As far as why does it happen? Is that one part of the question?
Yeah.
Why does it happen? I think because you train in a certain way. So hopefully, if you've done it right, you've kind of worn your team or the individuals. You've worked up hard all winter, been lifting the weights, running the sprints, in baseball, taking your swings and all that. You've kind of put your team through the paces, and then you pull the reins back, I think, a couple weeks before, kind of throttle down, and hopefully you're peaking as you go into the postseason.
And there's like another thing, like a lot of things about like peak performances happen. Like there's this one, like like the Torrey Smith, he's on the Ravens. He's like a receiver,
Yeah, I know he is.
like just a firmly mediocre receiver. Like 20 hours after his younger brother died, he had like the best season, like the best game of his season. Like, what do you think about that?
I think certain situations, like I don't know, like I can't explain it, but like give you some just extra motivation or some extra go somehow. I know, like and then you have like the Brett Favre case. His father died. He come back, he plays Monday Night Football, and throws for like 500 yards against the Raiders or something like that. I just think that you find sometimes that extra juice. I mean, I think there's like stories of people like lifting cars and stuff to get people out from under it and stuff. I don't know, you find like that kind of extra adrenaline or that extra push. I don't know if I have a great explanation for it, but I just think that in some situations, those things just kind of, give you that extra drive.
Okay, and then, so like, how do you think athletes motivate themselves as opposed to like internally, not just externally?
I think that, speaking for me personally, you just always have like an internal goal. Like, you're playing a team sport, but I think that you have an individual goal. As long as, I think like an external goal would be like your team goals, but internally, what do I need to do to improve? So last year I did this, I need to be able to do this. In professional sports, let's call it what it is. A lot of that's based on money. They have incentives built into their contract. But at amateur levels, I just think that a lot of people have, set individual goals going throughout the season. What they want to do, what they want to achieve. When you're a high school kid, one of those goals is you want to play in college. And then when you're in college, one of those goals is I want to play professionally. So you have those things that try to keep you motivated.
All right. And so, like, who do you think is responsible for the performance of an athlete? Like, is it the athlete itself, or do you think it's some other external force, like a coach or?
I think it's completely. I think it's the athlete mostly. I'd say it's probably. I don't know, give a bogus percentage here, but probably 90% the athlete making it and getting it done. Because the athlete's the one who has to show up to train.
Yeah.
The athlete's the one who has to do all the work in the off season. I think a coach is a little bit because yes, he has to teach them the fundamentals and maybe polish the skills, hopefully. And then if you have a strength and conditioning coach or anything like that, he can take what that athlete naturally has. And the strength coach from Alabama always tells the kids that when they get there, like, you're already a Bentley, and I'm just going to put spinners on them. Like, that's what he does. So you can make what they already have and make it that much better. But I'd say 90% of it is the athlete.
Right. So, do you think that like a coach could like influence the performance, as in just like mentally, like according to you, like punishment and discipline, like you run us a lot, and you say that we have a lot of mental errors. Like, do you think that like coaches could like change that in a way?
I think so. I think that's why, rightly or wrongly, why we run like a lot for us, why we run a lot of the triangles. I know that everyone's always bitching about it. There you go for that interview. And unhappy. And I totally get that. I would be as a player too. It's not an idea of like I want to come out there and run these guys. It's an idea of these are things that we are doing that are mentally stupid. We forget now. We striking out with runners in scoring position, things of that nature that are within our control. Are we forgetting baseballs in the cage like we did yesterday? Those are discipline issues. So you want to make sure that those are taken care of. As a coach, I think that's your responsibility is to handle those. And if those are handled, I do think that your players' performance on the field is better because they come into situations hopefully more focused and understanding if there's a certain way to play the game.
Right.
The rest of it is really on the players to, perform, and hopefully you've got skilled players. But yeah, I think you can affect it with with quality discipline.
All right. So then, what do you think like the difference between punishment and discipline is?
I think punishment is just to come out there and be like, that's it. We stunk yesterday. We're going to come out here. We're going to run. Let's say we're going to run 12 triangles because we were so bad against Hinsdale South. Let's just come out here and arbitrarily run 12 triangles. I don't know if that helps anything. I think that we screwed things up. We need to go back to work and fix them. I think discipline is we got guys throwing bats, talking back to the umpire, those kind of things. I think that those need to be addressed because those blossom into bigger problems. So that's where I think the difference is.
Okay. I think that's it.
All right.